All right, looks like we are live and direct. Hello, IG. Hope everyone is doing well. Waiting for my guy Jeff Moore from Moore Financial Solutions to come in the room so we can get this popping. Hope everyone had a great day, great evening, enjoying your time. If you like money, you need to get in the room and get in for this conversation. We're going to be talking about how to become your own bank. Only if you like money. If you don't like money, it's okay. No worries. This will not be the conversation for you. But if you do want to learn about how to become your own bank, certain different things about life insurance that they don't teach you in school that we didn't learn growing up, make sure you get in the room so we can have this conversation today. I see my folks joining. Shout out to my cuzzo in the building, Black Heart Joker. Also tag anybody that, you think needs to have this conversation. Share this out. Make sure you let folks know that we are live or folks that need to have this conversation, especially for the entrepreneurs, and just folks in general who need to, get this information. Make sure that you invite them here. All right, so I think our special guest is here, so let me try to invite him on. Let me see. You already know, cuz. There we go. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, man?
Special guest in the building. Shout out to my OG.
In the building.
Yes, my OG, Mr. Moore, Jeff Moore, a.k.a. the man with all the money and all the money secrets to let y'all know. Let's get folks in here. All right, I see Joy in the building. Thank you so much for being here. My other cousin just joined, Roosevelt Mitchell III, my guy. All right, great. So, folks, make sure you tag folks, mention folks, share this.
Yes, let's tag 10 people. Let's share them. This is free game 99. I mean, usually I charge, $1,500, $2,500, $69,000 for this game that I'm going to drop down tonight. So you better tag 10, 15, 20 people. Get them in here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm loving the energy. All right, so why y'all?
I'm gonna take my glasses off and get comfortable up in this piece.
So why y'all tagging folks and getting folks in here? Your aunties, your cousins, your entrepreneur friends, your business besties. Jeff, just tell them a little bit more about like you, your background, who you are. Just before we dive into the deep stuff, just give people a little bit of background.
Yes. So my name's Jeff Moore. I'm from Moore Financial Solutions, which is a boutique financial services firm located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. So tell you an interesting story how I stumbled into this business. Originally, I had my whole life mapped out. I was going to go and become a teacher. And as a kid, I traveled the world playing chess. I was one of the best chess players in all of the United States. So I had this game plan that I was going to go to school. I went to Penn State. I got my bachelor's degree from Penn State. I got my master's degree from Penn State. I had it all laid out. I was going to become a teacher. I was going to have a chess program at the school, and I was going to just travel the world and play chess. That was my whole game plan. It was so airtight until I met one of my buddies that I went to Penn State, and he shared with me this opportunity. And this opportunity was in the world of entrepreneurship. So when I looked at the opportunity, it was in the financial services arena. So I knew from a kid that, it was a man. He used to always come to the crib. It was like the 15th day of the month. My mom would always make sure that she had $50 set aside for him and this policy. So me getting into the business, when I finally got into the business, I wanted to find out what was this policy all about that I remember my mom paying for all of these years. Now, little background and give you a little context. I'm the youngest of 8 kids. So when this man was coming by on the 15th of every month, I was the youngin' in the family. And I watched, and my mom used to call him the debit man. Make sure that the debit man pick up this money and you make sure you get a receipt that I paid for my insurance. It was vivid instructions, okay? So as this process went on, all these years, probably some 30, 35, maybe even more years of that, I actually looked at the policy that she had and I read it and I became outraged. And I got scared because I had to tell my mama that all of that money, and I had to tell my daddy that all the money he gave her to make sure that she paid this insurance premium, to make sure that she got that receipt on the 15th of each month. Man, that was a hard conversation. You remember, I don't want to date myself here, but Sanford and Son used to have a TV show out, right? And you know, Fred used to always mess with Esther. And Esther used to look at Fred and be like, what you talking about? You know what I mean? She used to give him that little look. All the old heads who remember that show and that look, just put a little one in the comments bar, because them young kids, they don't know what I'm talking about right now. So I feel like I'm a little old and I feel like a little naked right now, because none of the young folks know what I'm talking about right now. But Esther used to have his little looks. And I remember when I told my mama that she was paying into that policy all of those years and it was junk and it had no value, when she looked at me like Esther used to look at Fred, I mean, I froze. I didn't know what to say next. I didn't know whether I was going to move. I didn't know if she was going to make me go get a switch from the tree and whoop my butt. I didn't know what was going to go on. But she looked at me with such anger, and she was pissed off to the highest level of pissivity because she had paid all of this money and she thought she was so secure, and the policy happened to be junk. And that policy she had for over 30 something years was with MetLife. And later on, you know, they sued MetLife for those kind of policies that they wrote because, you know, it was predatory policies that they had only for black folks in the hood that had those kind of policies. So my mom taught me a viable and important lesson before she passed away that I hold near and dear to me this day. She used to always tell me, she says, son, when you understand what's going on, you will know what to do. She said the hardest part is just understanding what's going on. But she used to always say, but I assure you, when you understand what's going on, you will know what to do. So a part of what I do in my practice now and keeping my mother's legacy alive, I just want to help people to understand what's going on with their finances so they will know what to do. Because I think that the most important thing is making sure that you have a firm understanding of how to position your money, because the banks and the financial institutions prey on your ignorance, because in your ignorance is where they make all of their profit.
That's deep. You get a little too deep. We just getting started. Shout out to everybody in the building on my TSP fam, Mastermind fam. Shout out to HR for the Culture in here. Got the email marketing John, Social Swans. We got Amber Rose, Natural Products, Katricia in here. My guy Brandon in here. I'm still rocking the merch right now. Black Billionaire Club.
Black Billionaire. I should have had me some merch on. What was I thinking?
Listen,
Mr. Opportunity.
Collections.com. I think that's the URL. You can drop that down, go in there and get.
You need to stand up again so we can see that shirt again. It looks kind of dope. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. The Black Billionaires Club, the BBC.
Right.
That's a new twist.
You already know. So definitely,
I like it.
Definitely want to take it deeper. So for folks that don't know, I had a financial company. I actually used to work in the finance industry. I worked at Prudential Financial. I worked at Vanguard. I had my securities licenses, had my Series 7 license, Series 63 licenses. So I worked with finance for many years, but I did not grow up with any of this information. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up with rich parents. I didn't grow up with rich family members. I wouldn't learn anything about money, wealth, stocks, investing, life insurance, nothing. I learned about if you want to have money, you go get a job. That's about it. If you want to have money, you go get a job. Once you 14, 15, and you're eligible, you go get a job, you work, you go to college, you get a career, you work there for 40 years, you get your 401k, and you retire, and you live a happy life.
And you die broke. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In a traditional route and become an entrepreneur, and now I make more money, you know, in a couple months than I used to make working 12 months and a corporate job. So let's take a step further. So once you were introduced into like finance and stuff like that, like did you work corporate for a little while and then become an entrepreneur? Did you just say, I just want to be my own boss? A lot of folks may just want to say, oh, well, I'm working Wall Street, I want to work corporate and stuff like that. And what I noticed when I worked in corporate, just because you worked for a financial industry does not mean you actually know anything, not anything, but doesn't mean you know a lot about your personal finance and building your own wealth. You may know how to just get a job. So what was that like journey like for you?
I'm so happy you asked because, you know, my dad was an OG. My dad was an OG back in North Philly. He used to run numbers. So he was a number writer, right? So my dad used to always tell me, he was like, he used to tell me all the time, he say, when you put your book skills with your street skills, you're going to be a bad mother. I can't say what else what he said, but you get what I'm saying. So the point of the matter is I worked 6 months after I got out of college. So when I got my master's degree, in December, and I was going to start teaching in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia school system. And I remember vividly the first job offer was $29,900. And that was with a master's degree and 30 credits. So I was all educated up. You know, I was like, yo, I'm going to go back into the hood. I'm going to get my chess program. And then when I heard that salary, I was like, how am I going to live? How am I going to pay these student loans back? You know, what's the deal? So I took my first job.
To the teachers, but I feel you.
I mean, I give all the love to the teachers because they are the most underpaid occupation in all of America. But that's a different conversation that we'll have another time. So I took a job from December. My plan was to take a job to December to school start. And I worked at a mortgage company. I was a loan originator. So I would originate the loans for the mortgage company. And it was my first like real W-2 job. I mean, I worked as a social worker for a couple of years after I got out of Penn State before I went back and got my master's degree. But this was the real job that set me up to say, I'm never going to work for someone else again, to put it that way. So I was working at this mortgage company, and the whole idea was to make as much money as I could before I started into my own entrepreneurial practice. So I went to work 9 to 5 as an originator, and I never left the desk. I stayed. I worked through my lunch. It was a commission plus salary kind of position. So my own idea was to make as much loot as I can, because I'm like, I'm going to start as a school teacher. I'm going to be poor, so I need to have so much money as I could to make it on. So in the interim, while I was working at the mortgage company, I bumped into my buddy who introduced me to the business. And when he introduced me to the business, he basically showed me this 4-column presentation on how to build wealth. And I looked at him. Yeah, you look at somebody like, and I said to him, dude, this is easy. And he was like, if it's so easy, then why don't you do it? So then I was like, well, what I need to do? So he's like, well, in New Jersey, you got to go to school, you got to get your license, and then you sit down and pass the test. So I hated my job at the loan originator. I mean, I used to play Jedi mind games to go to work every day. I used to visualize that I was going somewhere else that was pleasurable just to get the work. And when I got the work, it was like tunnel vision, make as much money as you can and bounce. So that's what I basically did, but I hated it. And so for that 6 months, I'm telling you, man, I made close to $40,000 in salary and commission. And this was back in, see, now I'm gonna date myself right now, but I need you to understand this for context. This was back in 96 going into 97. Okay, so that was 20 something years ago. Okay,
probably like 10.
So when I did that, I worked so much hours and so much extra hours. I had accumulated so much time, almost 2 weeks of that I could take off and still get paid my regular salary. I wouldn't get the commission, but I get the regular salary. So when that was all said and done, I went and I took a week off. I went to the school. I got my insurance license and passed my test. And then I came back to work and gave my 2 weeks notice. So I was out, and I've never looked back on a job, a W-2 job since. And I just want to say, like, for all the entrepreneurs out there, even when you are going through trials and tribulations, and when you look like you got to rob Peter to pay Paul to make ends meet, keep pursuing your passion and keep pursuing your dream. Because it was many times where opportunities came my way to work at Merck Pharmaceuticals or even work at sales with a major advertising company in New York. And I turned down those six-figure jobs because I believed in myself and I believed in the abilities that I've had. And I always remember my dad used to tell me that when you work for someone else, you're building their bank and you're not building yours. So I had that in the background, and I said that if I could make six figures with corporate America, then what do I need to do to make six figures in my own business? So I wanted to look into getting education, you know, because I believe that personal education is the biggest and the best investment that you can make in yourself. And I always said that when you invest in you, everything around you get better. So that was the energy, that was the attitude, that was the mindset, and trust and believe. I had to continuously say positive affirmations to myself in those dark times where I just wanted to quit and I just wanted to roll over and I just wanted to cry and I wanted somebody else to pay my bills. So that message is for all the entrepreneurs. Just keep going. Keep believing in yourself, keep believing in your dream, keep believing in your faith, and keep pressing on, because nobody can pay you the money. Nobody can give you the time freedom. No one can give you the time reward that you can give working and operating your own business. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Dang, I agree with that 100%. Like, I remember when I used to want to take off a vacation, I'm like, I have to ask someone if I want to take vacation, if I want to spend time with my kids, if I got a funeral, like, oh, I have to ask someone to like take off. And listen, no disrespect to nobody that works job or 9 to 5. Like, the main thing I believe in is doing what you truly love to do. So most people that are teachers, they love to teach. They're not doing it for the money. They love helping people. They love teaching children, stuff like that. So whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's 9 to 5, corporate, entrepreneur, like, make sure you're happy in that space. But I know when I worked a job, I was not happy. I was very, very miserable. So I understand that 100%. So if y'all are getting value in this conversation, do me a favor. Please drop a comment down, drop an emoji down, drop something down. Get your
and share this, because I haven't even started to drop no game yet.
Right.
Share this. Get your people in on this live.
Yes, definitely. That's what I was about to say. Like, share this, get everybody, DM someone, like, get people in. So I want to start getting the nitty gritty. So when you say become your own bank, like, what does that mean? Like, how do I do that? Does that mean just put money in a savings account that doesn't give me interest? Does it mean like buy stocks, buy mutual funds, life insurance, like crypto, Bitcoin? Like, what exactly does that mean? Like, on a surface level, then like dig deeper on like what people like tangibly can do to start investing, building wealth, and actually becoming, quote unquote, your own bank.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the 300 level view. So I'm going to break this banking thing down so you can understand it. And then I'm going to position it that you can have this kind of philosophy work for you instead of having your money still going to the banks and work for them. All right, you ready for that? All right, so here's the 300 feet view. So how banks make money is banks say, Ryan, we need you to give us your money. We need you to give us money on a more continuous basis. So they set things up like direct deposit, payroll deduction, all of these different things. The bank incentivizes people to give them money. So when you give the banks money, the banks build a reserve pool of money. So just for the sake of simplicity, a pool of money came in, that bank had $100 million in assets from people making deposits. The bank then picks up the phone and calls the Federal Reserve, and the bank say, yo, Federal Reserve, I got $100 million of assets over here. Can you hook me up and give me a loan? So the Fed say, yo, you got $100 million. I will collateralize. I'll let you collateralize the money that you have, and I'll lend you that $100 million. So now the bank got $200 million. So the bank takes the money from the Federal Reserve, and that's what they lend out. They lend out the money that they borrow from the Federal Reserve for you to get your car note, for you to get your credit cards, for you to get your auto loan, for you to buy that house, for you to get that personal loan. So all the different ways that the banks lend money out, they collateralize the monies that they have and get a loan from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve give them a loan dirt cheap. The cheapest way that they can get money. So now the bank keeps the money that they have in reserves just in case there's a quote unquote run on the money. So if all the people decide they want to go get their money out, the bank will be like, okay, cool, we can give you your money back.
Which ain't gonna happen, but you know.
but now you understand. Now, banks take, the good banks can take a dollar that they get in and lend that dollar out. Get that dollar back again. Lend it out again. Get that dollar back again. Lend it out again. And they do this process called the velocity of money. 10, 15, 20. Good banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan Bank, they could do this process 30, 35, 39 times on $1. So they could get 39 turns on $1. That's why the banks got so much money. That's why you see a bank on every corner. That's why you see banks on billboards and signage everywhere. And guess what, Ryan? Banks are the only industry that don't make anything.
Right.
What do the banks make?
Right.
So they use this process of lending money and borrowing money to build wealth. So let me ask you a question. If it's good for the goose, shouldn't it be good for the gander? All right, so now you asking if the banks can go get money from the fractional, they call that fractional banking, by the way. But if they could go get that money from the Federal Reserve, who can lend you money to do the same process? Dun, 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 dun. That's where the insurance companies come in. The insurance companies will say, hey, listen, Ryan, instead of you putting all of these deposits into the bank, we can allow you to put deposits in with us, and we can allow you to be able to build up enough assets or build up enough reserves, just like the banks do. And then you can collateralize your money, and the banks say, we'll lend you the money. But guess what? Let's back up for a minute, because I got so excited. Let me back up a little bit. Now, you know, when you go to get when you got to apply for the bank, what's the golden rule that you have to adopt if you need to go get money for the bank? I'm gonna give you a hint. Warren Buffett said it best. Warren Buffett said the best time to go get money from the bank is when you can prove that you don't need it.
When you don't need it, that's what I'm about to say. Yeah, right.
Because the bank's got a process. They like, yo, Ryan, what that credit score looking like?
Right.
Yo, Ryan, what you got for collateral you can put up?
Right.
Look, Ryan, how you gonna handle these payments? Yo, Ryan, you gonna be able to take these fees I got for you, bro? I got some fees for you, bro. And you know I'm gonna charge you some interest, right?
Right.
Now, the bank's got this interest thing set up. They like, listen, we got a range from 2% to about 35%. You're gonna fall somewhere in between if you borrowing a house, if you buying for, borrow money for a house, if you borrow money for an auto loan, if you're getting a credit card, if whatever you borrow money for, you're gonna be somewhere in that 2 to 30% or more range. And you gotta follow all of these criterias before you can be eligible to get the loan. Because the bank, remember, got to pay the Federal Reserve back. So they put all of these structures in place to make sure that they're going to get their money. So they only going to lend the money to good money because they got to pay back the money. So you understand that? So you understand how the banks make money?
Yeah, I understand.
So now when the insurance companies step in and say, yo, you can put deposits in with us, and we can let you build those reserves how high as ever and how fast you want it to be. And then we can lend you the money to go buy a car, to pay your credit card bills off, to pay your student loans, to buy that first investment property, to pay off your home mortgage. The insurance companies will say, we'll lend you the money. And all the money that you have in reserve with us, if you structure it with the right contract, they're going to say, Ryan, we're going to give you a guaranteed interest rate. With the companies that I set this system up with, they give you dividends. So when they make money, you make more money. They're going to say, man, we don't care about your credit because you got cash. They ain't worried about what your credit score looking like. They not worried about you placing all kind of collateral up to go and pay your student loans off. They ain't worried about that like the banks are. They put you in a position that you can have your money earn guaranteed interest, dividends. The money is liquid. The money is suit protected. The money can be collateralized and leveraged. And the most important thing is that when you use their money, your money continues to grow uninterrupted, earning guaranteed interest, earning dividends, which is compounding year after year after year after year. And Albert Einstein already said that the greatest thing that you could do with building wealth is have compound interest. And when you have compound interest uninterrupted, guaranteed money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? You got guaranteed money in the bank.
All right, let's back up. Hold on, you getting a little too deep for us right now. Like, even me, I'm like, yo, you dropping some major stuff right now. So shout out to everybody in the comments. Danielle's here. Joy. See, wow. Dr. Letitia says, so you definitely getting deep on us. Okay, so I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I understand how the banks make money, you know, because I was talking to someone before saying they was like, I got all this money in the bank and it's not getting interest. I was like, why would you put that much money in the bank? I was like, the banks don't even want your money. Like, when you put the money in, they're going to loan it out and stuff like that. So I hear what you say. So, okay, how do I go about actually doing that? You know what I mean? Do I hire someone like you? What if I already have an insurance agent? What if I already have a policy, a term policy, or whatever it is? I don't know all the specifics of life insurance, but it's like, okay, how do I actually go about like implementing, like actually doing this so I can really set this up?
So one thing, if you don't have it, you can't get these kind of policies with, can I name drop right here? I don't want to be disrespectful. I ain't gonna be disrespectful, but you can't get no policies like this with them Prime America. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna get disrespectful. Let me stop. But it's only a certain kind of companies. Oh my gosh, let me stop. It's only certain kind of companies that I don't like to call them. Oh, she said, be disrespectful.
So many.
Yo, hey, Ryan, she don't know I'm from North Philly. I know how to be disrespectful. But I'm gonna put my Christian collar on right now, and I'm going to be good.
But I live in Jersey now. Like,
I live in the suburbs now, so you know I have to make sure that I am being respectful. Right. No, but seriously, you only could do this. It's close to 1,000 different insurance companies that's out in America. It's only about 8, maybe 9 good insurance companies that structure these kind of, you call them policies, but we call them contracts, because the contracts will say, if you do what you're supposed to do, we're guaranteed to do what we're supposed to do. Okay. So it's about 9 good companies that have these contracts, which allows you to overfund the policies that you can structure it to, quote unquote, become your own bank. So some of the things what you would need to have done, or what you need to have to do, is to make sure you have good health. Because insurance is all about health. It's all about age. So if you can get these policies when you're younger, you can really make it, as you young folks say, make it pop. Okay. So another thing that you need to do is to make sure it's with a mutual company and not a stock company, because a mutual company is like a credit union Whereas a stock company is like a bank. You know how the credit union give you more benefits, they give you more money on your money. So the mutual companies are like more like a credit union, just to bring it down so you can understand. And so you want to deal with a mutual company that pays dividends. And a lot of these companies have paid dividends when for over 100 years. So every bad time and every bad period in American history, these companies have made money and they've delivered a dividend. So that's important when you have that contract. Okay. And then you want to be able to work with a skilled advisor like myself to make sure you put together the right strategy and make sure you have some cash that you can fund it. This ain't the type of plan that if you want to put $100 a month in, $200 a month in, you really could use to maximize it. It's really a wealth building vehicle. And if we have some time a little later, I can show you an example or talk to you an example of how you become your own bank and really velocitize the money that's under your management to make that process work for you. So there's many different strategies that you can utilize to put it in, but you have to make sure you have an advisor that's skilled, because you got a lot of fake MCs out here always talking hard, but they won't walk the streets without their bodyguards talking about become your own banker, and don't know what the hell a banker is. So you got to make sure you inspect what you expect and get a broad view and have a great advisor that's a strategist that can help you craft the best contract for you, because this is not a cookie cutter kind of thing that you can just do all across the board. So that's why I wanted to give you the fundamentals to teach you how it works. So if you find you an advisor that you want to implement this with, you have a little understanding of how it works in the background. And then, as my mama always said, when you understand what's going on, you'll know what to do.
I love that. I love that. Seriously. If y'all got questions, we still got a lot more time left, but if y'all got questions, feel free to drop them down and Jeff will definitely answer them for you. Isadora, thanks so much for being here. Jeff said Jeff's dropping knowledge.
Hey, that's what I love to do.
I heard her. I seen she said, "What if I'm old and raggedy?" Knowing she a millennial. No, I'm playing. I think she is. I don't know.
Only thing you gotta do is qualify and got some cash, and then you can have this thing work for you, especially for older people. I mean, I've put together some plans for people that's 50 and up that they made it sang for them. It was able to. They didn't really they used the principles of Become Your Own Bank. But in this particular case, we use it to kind of supplement their retirement income and provide long-term care benefits for them, all inside of a life insurance contract. I tell you, man, this is one of the most beautiful things that you can ever own that they never taught people that look like you and me about. But that's all changed now, because I'm going to teach people how to make this thing sing if they're willing to listen and come with an open mind.
All right. So shout out to the 80s babies in here. I'm an 80s baby.
80s baby.
I ain't 40, but I'm an 80s baby. No shit. Shout out to the Gen Xers and the baby boomers.
Ooh, Lord.
So I want to ask you this, and she said y'all young. Katricia looks 25 though. Says this is the first time hearing this. Yeah, Jeff, listen, Jeff be dropping some major nuggets, and me and Jeff be talking on our private conversations. He be dropping some stuff on me. So I think you got me sold on the actual policy though. So I think I'm connect with you on that. So I want to ask you this, and you always say this to me and stuff, and I don't want to violate any FINRA laws or SEC and type of stuff. But what are your thoughts on?
You gonna make me lose my license right here, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like that. But I just want to know your thoughts in general on what you see coming up with the financial world. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you always be saying stuff to me.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So that's not going to break no FINRA law, because I'm talking about me right here. So what I'm doing right now is two things. One of the things that I'm teaching all my clients to do, whenever you get some money, I don't care if it's $1, $100, $100,000, whatever that amount is, you got to pay yourself first. Most people.
I mean,
I'm sorry?
I said, what does that mean? Put it in a savings account, put it in IRA.
No. Most people get in the habit of trying to pay everything off and then try to save what's left over. So you got to change that, because you're never going to become a wealth builder when you put yourself last. You always got to put yourself first. So what I have my clients do, and what I do for myself, is that, now I'm not going to say what I have my clients do. What I do for myself, I don't want nobody sitting this November talk about, he was over there talking about what he do for his clients. What I do for myself is that I pay myself first, and I have a separate account that I put it into that it does not have no debit card. Okay? So that money goes straight in that account, and it does two things. One, it conditions my mindset that whenever I get paid, to pay me, because I am my most important asset. Me. Not no stock, not no bond, not no mutual fund, not no piece of real estate, not no business ownership. No. I am my most important asset. So I pay me first. And then I utilize that account to accumulate, to be I like to call it a what if fund. What if some stuff happens? What happens if I'm driving down, 76 and I hit another car and I got $2,500 of work I got to do to my car? Where I'm going to get that money to pay that deductible? So, what happens if, cousin Pookie, outside of Wawa, get into a little fight with somebody, knock somebody out, he in jail now, and he call you up like, can I hold something so I can get this bond paid so I can get out of here? Whatever the situation is, I call it a what if fund, because, or when I'm going to start calling it a when if fund, because something's always going to happen. So when it does, you got cash reserved on hand to take care of it. That will prevent you to getting into credit card debt. That will prevent you from becoming a financial nuisance to your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your family members. That will cause you not to make a dumb decision to go raid your 401k plan and have to pay all those penalties and those fees, because you had an untimed emergency that you came up on. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, I'm stashing cash because I believe that I believe that we are embarking on the biggest everything crash in the history of the United States.
Really?
I believe that this is going to be so worse than 2008. I don't know if you youngins remember what happened in 2008, but in 2008, a lot of people lost their money. A lot of people lost their retirement. A lot of people lost their marriages, and a lot of people lost their lives because of the financial pressure that happened when the stock market crashed, when the real estate market crashed, when the banks closed because they over collateralized and over leveraged and lent out more money that was coming in.
And
I believe it's going to be worse this time around.
And a lot of people got rich that were positioned correctly.
That was going to be the second part.
My bad. I ain't mean to steal what you was about to say, but
So now you got to check this out. Here's another part of the game. Joy said lost their mind too. Yes, a lot of people did. Here's another part of the game. The money never goes anywhere. It just circulates and transfers from the people who did the right things, and goes from the people who did the wrong things. So it's no new money being circulated or produced anywhere. It's the same money circulating around and round and round. That's why the word says that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. It's no new money come up. So you just got to have the right strategy in place, that when these bad things happen in the market, and if you look back through the history of the United States, it always happened around 7 to 10 years. It's always a major hiccup somewhere that comes along that ushers in an opportunity for you to do a money grab. But most of the time, people look like you and me are not in a position to grab that money because we got debt. We ain't got no money saved. We got all these other things going on. We ain't pay ourselves. We not liquid. So now we get mad. We be pissed off because we like, dang, if I had a couple of dollars, I could have bought that stock. I could have bought Apple when it was down to the $50.
And
but you ain't had no money, so you couldn't take advantage of Apple at 50.
right. And I think our people, for what I've seen traditionally in the past, we're always trained like if it's bad, if it's crashing, we gotta sell. We gotta get rid of it. We gotta liquidate.
See, because most people like you and me were taught to invest wrong. All right, can I get on a soapbox about investing? I promise I won't be long on it.
No, you good.
But I got to get people to understand how to do this investing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so close to where I am is a place called Atlantic City. And one of the places I like to go a lot is in Las Vegas. So what does Atlantic City and Las Vegas have anything to do with the stock market?
I don't know.
Those cities have two of the biggest gambling houses in America. So you go to Atlantic City to gamble and you go to Las Vegas to gamble. But guess what? Your stock market is just like gambling. It's just like at the roulette wheel or playing craps or pulling down the wheel. It is 100% gambling with fees. So you got to understand that the stock market, your 401k is not guaranteed. Your 401k is at a gambling house called mutual funds, which gamble. It is all risk. All the risk is transferred to you. And one of the biggest thieves that is taking money out. They like, yo, Ryan, what's up, man? You lost some money over here. But the only difference between Atlantic City and Wall Street is, at least when you lose money at Atlantic City or you lose money at Vegas, they'll comp you a room. They'll give you a free meal to be like, yo, man, we sorry you lost all your money. Oh, man, we happy that you gave us your money. Right. Stock market don't even do that. They be like, yo, pay me like you owe me. We don't care you broke. Get my fee. So when you understand that, you got to put money in a stock market that if you lost it, it does not stop your standard of living. So most times they get you drunk too. Yes, they do. Most times now you don't believe me, mark my words, because it's going to happen again. It's going to probably happen towards the end of this year, the beginning of the next year, when the stock market like do a dive. Okay. And when it do a dive, people gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta go get my money out. I'm losing all my money. And they take their money out and miss their opportunity. But if you understood the fundamentals of investing, that you only invest money, that if you lost it, it ain't gonna stop your standard of living, you could ride that thing out. Right. Because a stock market loss is only a loss on paper.
Right. And
you can only lose money if you redeem it.
Yeah, exactly. So when people are looking at your portfolio like, oh, I lost all this money in 2008 or 2022, you didn't actually lose it until you sell. You know what I'm saying? So
you lost it, but you just lost it on paper.
Right.
But if that's not one of the greatest wealth building principles that a lot of the rich folks do, is that they wait. You know, rich folks right now got close to $10 billion sitting in cash. Damn. The smart money, they sit up there like this. Yeah. Yo, that John 4 yet? That John 4 yet? Yo, that John 4 yet? Yo, that John 4 yet? That's all that they're waiting for.
Yo, they said like Mitt Romney has like some crazy amount of money in like cash or something just waiting. You know what I mean?
Guess where else he had a lot of money? Waiting.
Insurance. Yeah, I heard that.
Yo, he locked and loaded. Guess who else got a lot of cash in the insurance contract that y'all hate?
Oh, Elon Musk or Trump? Trump.
Don't say his name, you might get censored.
Right, yeah, right. 4 or 5.
Guess who else got a lot of money just waiting?
Jeff Moore.
You want to be rich, you do what the rich do. Right? When you're in Rome, you do what Romans do, right? If you want to be rich, do what the rich do. The rich, okay, I'm off my soapbox now, off of the stock market. Anybody else got any questions on the stock market? Because I can't give you no answer. I could just tell you what I would do, because I ain't trying to get in no trouble with my regulators, because, you know, the funnel doctor is real popular and his stuff be circulating all around these internet streets. And I ain't trying to be caught dirty out here in these internet streets, you know, and having FINRA call me up, say, and then I had to be talking myself, see, what had happened was, you know, I ain't trying to be there. But I can tell you what I would do in that situation to alleviate all that. So if you have any questions, you know, while we're doing this, just drop them, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I don't know everything, but I know a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right. So someone says, what do you want the rich do, I guess, to do with insurance?
What do you want the rich do? Or what the rich do with insurance? Okay, so this is what the rich do with insurance. The rich, see, you got to understand the implications of insurance. One of the biggest advantages of life insurance, and why the rich buy life insurance, is because life insurance is one of the few and only entities that is not taxed. So the monies is not taxed on accumulation while you're making money, and the money is not taxed when you take money out, because you take money out by borrowing money from the insurance company, and most rich people have paid the loan off back at death in most cases. So they use it to have money that's not taxed. See, what most common people do, what most non-rich people do, is they chase rate of return. They be like, oh my God, I gotta get 10%. I get 10% of this fund. Oh, I'm in. Rich folks don't care. They don't give a flying. Oh, I'm sorry. North Philly almost jumped out of me. They don't give nothing about rate of return. The only thing that they care about is how their money is going to be taxed. Because when you have taxes, that is the biggest thing that confiscates and eats away at your profits. And rich folks love profits. So they like, where can I put a big majority of my money that I ain't gonna never get taxed on? That's why rich folks love real estate, because they can use appreciation and write-offs and write-downs and all different types of strategies to keep more of their money. That's why rich people like having their own businesses, because they get so many more write-offs that they can write off things that keep more of their money. So while the common folks are out here chasing rate of return, rich folks are chasing, where can I put my money that's going to be taxed at nothing at all, or at least as possible? Because if you make it and you can't keep it, did you really make it? I feel sorry for people who live in California and they got a 401k plan. Because if you got some money and you making some money and you live in California and you got a 401k plan, let's say you stack 500, you got 500 stacks in your 401k plan, right? And you making a bean income. Oh my God, the hood be coming out. I got to talk right. You making $100,000 a year or more, and you got $500,000 in your investment account, and you live in California. So you at the 37% tax bracket, 35% tax bracket, whatever that tax bracket is, 32, 35, somewhere in that. Let's say you make 150,000, you at the top tax bracket. Let's just use the top tax bracket for this example. And so you at 35%, which is the top tax bracket. 37% is the top tax bracket, and you live in California with the state income tax 13%. So you go get money out of your 401k, half your money gone right off the bat.
Damn.
So you got to give, if you got 500 in that account really is 250. And don't try to take no money out before you 59 and a half. You really get gutted out, because now they like, yo, you got to pay a penalty. Now you got to pay the tax, and now you got to pay the state. So you got to pay the penalty, then you got to pay Uncle Sam, and then you got to pay Aunt Bunny. Damn. You leaving with 40% of your loot. All because you didn't know no better. All because you doing what the status quo told you to do.
Jeff dropping too many nuggets for y'all. Hope y'all taking notes. Shout out to Amber in the building. Mastermind fan been in here heavy. So we really appreciate y'all for showing up, showing love and supporting this live. Those folks that haven't already, please just share this out. Tag some folks that need to be here. We are kind of wrapping up, but Jeff been sharing some major gems, financial gems, stuff that you're not going to hear from your average broker or insurance broker or investment broker.
I got a question I want to ask everybody in this live right now. Make sure you go share this some more. Share this some more. Because I'm gonna make Ryan stay as long as y'all got questions. He ain't gonna get off of this day until y'all get all y'all questions. And I'm just playing. But the question I have for y'all tonight is,
drop any questions that you have right now, please.
Yes. What if everything that you knew about money and finances was not true? When would you want to know?
I want to know right now.
You know, one of my young boys always say, information changes situations.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the right information, it will change your situation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, somebody said, I'm sweating bullets. So many mistakes I've made so far. Let me tell you, who said that?
Katricia,
I got a special message for you. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. And everything is figure outable when you have the right strategy and when you have the right team members on your team. You can figure out anything. So don't beat yourself up saying, oh God, you know, just call a financial superstar like me and I'll help you. Plug. I ain't ones to plug, but plug.
Oh, that was my next thing. Like, honestly, like if someone does want to work with you or hire you or whatever, you know, how do they do it? Just DM you, go to your website, call you, email, like whatever. How can folks, you know, work with you if they want to?
So it's a couple ways that you could work with me. I've dropped my Calendly link in the what's that called? What's that? In the comment section. So anyone who I have a free little console that you could jump on and see if you know if you would be a good fit for me and I'll be a good fit for you. So and that don't cost you nothing. I just remember the Jay-Z song when it said, cost you nothing. Look, I'm on my grind, cousin. I ain't got no time for fronting. Sensitive thugs, y'all all need hugs. So you can reach out there at calendly.com, more strategy. You could always also go to my website, which has some information on there that's impactful, which is morestrategy.com. I'm a big strategist, you know, from my chess background. I love strategy. I love figuring out and mapping out roads for financial winning because I want to put you in a position that you can win this game financially. And that's where my passion is. That's where my heart is, to serve the people. And more importantly, keep my mama's legacy alive in the works that I do by getting you to understand what's going on so you can know what to do with your money. So I'm building this first generation wealth building society because I'm a first generation wealth builder. And in that, our mission is simple. We want to help you to get control of your money. We want to help you to get out of debt because debt stops you from building wealth, non-deductible debt. We want to help you to build tax-exempt income, and we want to help you to create a legacy of assets and money to the next generation. So that's what my mission and my passion is, that I will continue to do all of the remaining days I have here on this earth, to be a viable resource to all the people that I come in contact with, and that here's my voice. I want to be able to be instrumental in helping men and women leave a legacy, because the word says a good man, a good woman leaves an inheritance for their kids. So that's what I want to help people to do with strategy, so that they can be, so your great grandchild will know who Ryan was because Ryan left something.
I love
most of us don't remember who our great grandparents was because they ain't leave nothing.
Right.
But you know, and I want to change that, especially for people who look like me.
Absolutely.
Yo, I sit back and I think, and I get upset sometimes, right? And when I read reports, like I read this report that got me pissed off, man. And it said that by the year 2053, here we are in 2021. They like, look, in 32 years, black folks are going to be broke. The collective wealth of black America is projected. They've already done studies on it to be $0 in 32 years. And I'm like, yo, I am going to interrupt that. And if I'm successful at moving that pendulum from 0 to 10%, I think the Lord will look at me and say, well done, my good and faithful servant, because that's what motivates me right now, is to help my people to win this game financially, because they already statistically written us off. Or as we say in the hood, they wrote us off, y'all.
Right. Absolutely.
So what's the next question? I know you got a question.
About insurance. How do you invest with insurance?
How do you invest with insurance? Here's an easy way of investing in insurance. When you have insurance, right, you have an asset that will always grow. Just in plain simple, will always grow and earn interest on your money until you take your very last breath. The only thing you got to do is make your commitment. If you make your commitment, the insurance company is guaranteed to fulfill theirs. And most times they're going to give you back $3 or more for every dollar that you put in. You cannot lose money with permanent life insurance, especially the kind that we use. It is impossible.
Damn.
You cannot lose money. Period. As the young folks say. Period.
Sound like my daughter.
So that's what it is. You put money in, and you're going to get $3 back out or more, period. You ain't got to do nothing. It's not going to be no stock market risk. You could go get your money whenever you want it. Nobody can sue you. It's so funny, right? When I tell people about OJ and how OJ, when OJ, people were mad at OJ because when OJ, went to jail, they took his house. You might be too young to remember that. You remember when the saga with OJ happened?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I was like 8.
All right, so they took OJ's crib, right? They took all his cars. They took his jewelry. They even took his Heisman.
Damn.
They took his Heisman trophy, y'all. But guess what they didn't get?
Insurance.
They didn't get none of his money. Because a big part of his money was in 2 places. 401k, he had a pension. Through the NFL, they couldn't touch that because that was suit protected. And guess where he had the bulk of his money?
Insurance.
Life insurance. Life insurance is protected against suit. That's why you could go out here and do some old crazy stuff and try to sue me for something. You ain't gonna get Nathan. You ain't getting Nathan.
All right.
Nada.
Term. So term or whole life, or is it something else, something different?
Term is like you written your insurance. You cannot build any kind of cash in a term insurance policy. Term insurance is like you renting your insurance from the insurance company. And you only gonna make out if you die within that term. It's like you doing a milk crate challenge. You on the milk crate, you be like, yo, you like, oh, and you like almost at the top, and then you start shaking when that term about to fall off. And then you go back down, and then bam, lost the game. Insurance company like, thank you for all that money you gave me.
So you don't.
So term is a good. I'm sorry.
You don't recommend anybody get term.
No, term is a good short-term strategy, but it's a horrible long-term strategy. If anybody tell you to buy term insurance and invest the difference, run. Be like Forrest Gump. Dang, that's old again. But run, Forrest, run. Don't believe that, because that only makes money for the financial institutions, and you build wealth when you use that strategy. You just don't build wealth for you. So we have to change the narrative and stop doing strategies that build wealth for other people and not build wealth for us. That makes sense?
Yeah, that absolutely. All right. Does anybody have any last questions? You know, Jeff is a very, very busy man, so we don't want to take too much of his time, but he definitely dropped huge gems today. Can y'all please drop something in the chat, like an emoji, a gem, a fire emoji, something like that? But like I said, if there are any
I
last,
feel like I should put my Cash App down here because I've been preaching tonight.
right, we're going to offering in just 1 second. Action play is about to be tossed around in the chat. So, for real, if anybody has any last questions, feel free to drop them down while you got him on right now. We'll wait for a few more questions before we let Jeff get to his busy night
I did.
with these people.
So I also got a book about this as well. It's called My Cash Value is King: How to Build Tax-Free Income Now for a Legacy Later. You can go get that at Amazon. If you want your own personalized copy, you can DM me and I'll personalize it and send it to you. So that's how we're doing everything. If anybody else got any questions, did somebody else have a question up there?
They say, how do we consult with you? The Calendly link is there. It should be pinned. You should see it. Looks like it's pinned on my end. So just go to his Calendly.com, Calendly.com/more strategy, Calendly.com/more strategy. So they said, like, so is it whole life? Like, so is it whole life?
It's a specially designed whole life policy. So you can't get this with every company. These kind of strategies, especially for using to build your own become your own banker. Like I said earlier in the conversation, it's about 9 good companies that you can utilize this strategy with. And you have to make sure that if you're going to use the strategy on how to become your own banker, you must get somebody seasoned. You must get somebody who know what they're doing. I've been doing a whole lot of rescue plans where people who have bad strategies and bad policies trying to become their own bank and they losing money left and right. So I've been doing a lot of rescue plans. So you got to make sure you get somebody who know what they're doing.
All right. All right. Katricia said, thanks for everything. Thank you, sir. I don't see too many more questions.
Let me ask you a question. So the funnel doctor, right? So what would you say would be the most important thing that someone, if they wanted to maximize their opportunities with funnels, like what's the 3 things that they should be doing right now?
Getting crystal clear on your avatar. I'm really, really, really big on that. I think everything else when it comes to marketing and funnels and stuff is going to be confusing, or you're not going to like do well if you're not crystal clear on that. I think having a good offer is king as well. You know, a really, really good offer. And then, you know, after you know like who it is, what you want to put out there, something solid, and then having the actual funnel, you know, the sales process in place, the traffic coming, and then the automation and the marketing and everything behind that. I think that's like the keys that I would say.
Because we're gonna have an offline conversation. Because I've been getting all these crazy ideas on what I should be doing to build next,
right,
to help my community of first generation wealth builders,
right,
and really start to change the narrative on how we as Black folks view money. Because we made 1.5 billion with a B in the economy last year, and that was after taxes. Black folks, $1.5 billion made in our economy, and we ain't got nothing to show for it. We gotta change that. We gotta change that, because our economic power is going to help everyone else but us. And we gotta change that narrative.
That like a lot of people don't know that I wrote a book too. People that just know me as the funnel doctor don't know that I actually wrote a book about everything that you're talking about. It's called Mind Over Money, and it actually is about the psychology behind money And, you know, even if you have like a lot of money, if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter. And even if you have like only a little bit of money, like, you know, if you have the right mindset, you'll know how to put it in the right things and invest and make smart decisions, build good relationships. You know what I mean? Like understand business and tax policies and that type of stuff. So listen, man, we definitely all on the same page.
Yes, yes.
Says, thanks, Jeff. I'm about to hit you up. Yeah, make sure you schedule with Jeff. Go to calendly.com/more strategy. Calendly.com/more strategy. If anybody wants to get my book, it's like 3-4 years old now. I even forget that I wrote the book. It is on Amazon now. My name in or type Mind Over Money. It should come up. But other than that, anybody has any last questions before we let Jeff go? Anybody got any last questions? We definitely want to do this again. Might have to be on a recurring basis because people need this information. And I think a lot of it too is we need this information on a consistent basis because
Yes.
a lot of people are going to watch this, going to get inspired, it's going to be great. Then it's back to regular life. And you know, like most of the folks, probably damn near everybody, most folks come in contact with besides TSP Mastermind is people around your circle aren't talking like this. They're not thinking this way. They're not talking like this. They're not having these conversations. They're not trying to actually build wealth or just make the decisions to actually build wealth. So that's why we need this on a recurrent basis because once you get back to regular life, I already know how it is. And your average person that you talk to is not talking about this stuff.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. If you want something that you never had, you got to do some things that you've never done.
Right.
So that's what we're going to be on this mental mindset thing is to get the right money energy out into our communities. I know I'm gonna do everything that I can under my power. So if you want to keep getting these little nuggets, make sure you follow me on social media as well. You know, you can just come and follow me on the page. I'm going to be starting to do more nugget dropping. Maybe when you bring me back at another time, I can talk to you about the 4 financial thieves. So that could be something that we can talk about the next time, and I'll break down who the 4 thieves are, and that you got to keep you know on the lookout for to make sure that those 4 thieves don't come in and gank you.
We definitely going to talk about that. Let's get that on the calendar so we can just schedule that out.
Okay.
As fast. All right, yeah, I don't see any more questions. So thank you all so much for being here. Everybody that, you know, tuned in and dropped a comment, shared it out, got folks in here. Jeff, last words for the people. You know, you have the last word and whatever else that you haven't said already that you want to share with folks that they should know before we end this live.
I want to send this last message out to all of my entrepreneurs, all my first generation wealth builder entrepreneurs. Dream bigger, because if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And just eliminate your distractions because the world is waiting for your greatness to show up. I'm talking to you guys like I'm talking to myself. So just dream bigger and just do whatever you have to do. Make personal development your number 1 priority. Stack some cash for some opportunities. Dream bigger because the world needs and waiting for your talent to show up. Thank you guys for the opportunity to be of service. Thank you, Ryan, again, for the opportunity to talk to your community. I appreciate it. I pray that the Lord will redeem this time for you and everyone that's on this call, and that you got one nugget that you can take and use to build your financial kingdom and your financial empire. Thank you again for the opportunity to be of service. I'm out.
Thank you so much, my brother. So dream bigger. Y'all heard it. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Everyone have a great night.